And hello everybody. How are we doing? Wakey wakey. If you're in a very weird time zone like me. But yeah, we got some Dragon Quest Heroes here by Illayaya. And I'll be commentating for you tonight. So we should get this started here shortly. I've told Ilya to go ahead. Won't have any commentary on their end. And my knowledge in the speedrun is a little rusty. So, I'll do the best I can. It's been a while since I've commentated this run. Yeah, so we're going to get started here shortly. This is Dragon Quest Heroes, the first Muso Dynasty Warriors hack and slash type game. But of course, Dragon Quest. Inspired story and goofiness and adorableness and all the other nesses that you can think of. So once we hear the click, we can start the timer. There we go. Cool, cool, cool. So yeah, this is a New Game Plus category. It's one of the only Dragon Quest runs that I know of that actually gets done in New Game Plus. That's only because there is a massive amount of grinding that you would have to do. And New Game Plus more than half, like, cuts the game in half. But that also means that you're gonna really just blow up everything. Especially when you get Terry later on. So you'll notice already level 99, already has all the best equipment and stuff. That's part of the... It's a new game. It's a typical New Game Plus. Make sure that's not too loud. And, yeah, so this is the tutorial area where, you know, you're going to learn about button combos. There's nothing too overly complicated. It's 2-button mashing, triangle and square. Generally, when you use the square button, it just does 4 successive attacks. When you throw in the triangle button, it can randomly shoot out an ability of yours. And he's going with, and they're going with Aurora, the female. You got 2 basically different characters that you can choose between. You got either the male character or the female character. She is ice based. He is fire based. That's the differences. They both shield, they both sword. But yeah, so this is just timed. There's not much you can do. You kind of just gotta wait until Helix lets you go. But yeah, so this is for those who don't know what Heroes is. It's a Muso hack and slash Dynasty Warriors game, but this game features its own unique cast. You're looking at 2 of them right now, but it also brings in characters from other Dragon Quest games. They all kind of get the isekai into this world, and you got to try to figure out why, and then, you know, do what Dragon Quest does, which is beat up a big bad guy at the end, and you might even see a dragon or 2 along the way, which I guess is not something that's typical in Dragon Quest anymore. Okay, so Aurora has a bigger hitbox also, I guess. Okay, I didn't actually know about the bigger hitbox. But I guess that makes sense considering you're going to be throwing out the frost strikes and whatnot. Yeah, we're all quested out with dragons after the last run. Go to bed, Countess. So yeah, this is just the tutorial. Like I said, you're going through learning the basics. You get the Urba here, the main town, is under attack by monsters. And this game is one of those, oh, we're friends with monsters and they're our buddies and they help us out and we help them out, and then suddenly the monsters turn evil. And you gotta fight horde after horde of monsters. The king is my favorite. I love him. His line of choice is always to tell you to gird your loins. He's got a jolly old laugh. I guess I'm partial to jolly old laughs because, you know, I'm up there. And I got my own jolly old laugh. Oh, there's so much I could say about that emote error, but I'll just let it speak for itself. So this is gonna just be a chill run with everyone because, you know, like I said, my my knowledge on the speed run is old. So if there's been any new tech in like the last couple of years, I have no idea. But poor Helix here is cornered and getting attacked. I mean, I guess Helix is kind of adorable. He does like when he cries is just the most adorable thing that you've ever seen before. But I may or may not have a bias against Heel Slime, so we'll just try our best to save him from the dancing skeletons. Yeah, the skeletons generally advance and then stop and like do a dance. So I believe the king's name is Doric. It's been, like I said, it's been a while since it's been like a year and a half since I've even played this game, so see if I can remember everyone's names and everything. But all the enemies in this map just spawn from that entranceway there. And so Ilya is just throwing out AoEs in the entrance there, as you can see, and killing them as fast as possible. I mean, you have to do that because the fact that the skeletons, like I said, they stop and they dance. I don't know what they're I guess they dance to their own tune. You get the little slime trapped in the circle too. So adorable. Now an actual dragon attack, so but welcome to New Game Plus. The dragon doesn't last long. So dragon is an introduction to weak points, basic weaknesses. Dragons in particular take automatic crits from when you hit them in the face and in the tail. The tail I think does less damage than the head, but obviously it's safer. And you also get introduced to Maw Keepers. So you see those black portals that are kind of popping up there in the background? Those things are basically infinite enemy spawns, and each portal has a Maw Keeper, like a boss to the portal, and you have to take out the Maw Keeper before you can close the portal. Mostly, I would say it's not really infinite spawn. I use that loosely because there is a point on the maps where they just run out of enemies and you get like, this is the final wave, and the portals close on themselves and all the enemies approach. So it's not really infinite spawn. This is supposed to give you the sense that you can't win, that the town's being overrun. But the only one running right now is Aurora. So I guess if she keeps running a lot, that's overrun. And, okay. And Doric here gives you the next tutorial, which is tension. You can see that pink or purple bar next to her picture. Once that fills up, you get your you basically get full tension. You can unlock oh, I forgot what they named the mode. But you basically get immune to damage, unlimited magic, and a boost to strength while the bar is depleting. And at any point, or when the bar runs out, you do your coup de grace attack. In which case, for her, it's going to be Giga Slash. And that just pretty much, as you saw, wiped out every enemy anywhere nearby. So the town still gets overrun, and the king and everyone runs to safety to a camp here. Being New Game Plus, bringing in the best gear, as you can see. The big important part being the meteorite bracers, which increase movement speed. Because your characters are completely overpowered, the idea is you just want to throw AoEs and keep running, because everything's going to die. Next, you learn about evac. Yeah. So exciting evac. Mallkeeper dead already. So the maps in this game are all self-contained. There's no real linking between maps. It's you go into a map, you complete the objective. You go to the next map, you complete the objective. The second Heroes game, the world is more connected. It's like a complete world. That was a nice timing, by the way. Just sat there with the strongest lightning spell, waited for the Mallkeeper to spawn, and just zapped it. But yeah, I don't know what the I don't know if anyone's actually done English attempts of not New Game Plus, but I've been told that like it would be like over 7-8 hours long. I don't know, we could look that up. We got time. Let's see. Yeah, there is no English times. In fact, there's only one Western runner who's ever really done this New Game Plus. And Geyer is the only reason why I know what I know about this run. Yeah, you can do New Game. Go right ahead. Yeah, like I don't think anyone's actually routed the game without New Game Plus, just because it would be a lot of grinding is what it would be. And thank you, 871. But yeah, these maps just take forever if you try to like, you know, at low level, and you're actually at danger of dying in some cases. So we get introduced to our next unique party member in Isla. She's a scientist. And of course, another town is being overrun by monsters. So you'll see that there's a little thing right there that you can jump into. The idea is monsters are going to be approaching the bridge. Yeah, new game run is like, it's got to be like 7 or 8 hours is what I was told the estimate would be. Oh, it's only 5 hours? Oh, that's nothing. That's 5 hours? That's easy. But yeah, she kind of wants you to use that right there, the spellcaster, to blow him up. So you get some target practice. She's like a mad scientist, but more like giggly mad. So the reason for the spellcaster here is it's a tutorial, of course, because there's a boss coming up that the game, playing the game normally, requires you to use spellcasters to beat down the boss. But when you're level 99, the only thing you need to beat down the boss is your weapon. So yeah, it's go finish a map, go back to town, do whatever you need to do there. There's quests, there's gear, there's gearing up. There's, you know, it's a lot of typical things that you can do inside a town. Now you get Yggdrasil leaves, which limited amounts of resurrections that you can do on a map. You're also going to get introduced to monster medallions. Those that bar on the bottom of the screen. Sunny, when you kill monsters, they have a chance to drop their medallion, and they have various effects and things that they can do. Some of them are like sentries, where they come out and they guard, and you know they fight for you. Others are like spellcasters, where they appear and cast a spell or do something. I forgot. I think this game, the third type, is the ones where you ride them for a little bit. I know Heroes 2, you turn into the monster. I think this game, it was you ride the monster if it's a rideable type. Like, each one has their own specific type. So it's not like you can summon a Slime Knight and choose what you want to do with it. The Slime Knight's going to do what it does. And another protect. But we're going to be introduced here soon, I believe. Yeah, the monster medallions definitely add like a tower defense, because that's what they want you to do here. They want you to collect monster medallions, since you're being attacked by 3 sides, and kind of place them in a way to protect like one side. Because generally how the spawns work is like a lot of trash enemies will come out, things that die easy. But then eventually, especially later on, you'll start getting bigger monsters. Ones that hit harder, have a lot more health. Yes, this is New Game Plus. And yeah. As Ilya said, there's only been one run on the Nico boards of not New Game Plus, and no Western runners have tried New Game Plus, or without New Game Plus. So they're also going to be trying to avoid picking up the monster medallions, going out of their way to try to avoid picking them up, because every time you pick up a new monster medallion for the first time, you get like a little pop-up to describe what the monster medallion is. So it wastes a few seconds if you pick up a new monster medallion. Here comes the last wave. That's when it's just kill all the big guys, basically. The Maw keep at the point where it says this is the last wave, all you really have to do for most cases is kill the bigger enemies. Like the golem there. The Maw Keeper doesn't even really matter as much. It's just kill the big enemies. And then usually the small ones will run away, but in the case of a speedrun, obviously you want to kill all of them at the same time if possible, because it does take time for them to run away. So this is your first 4 party members. You get Doric, you get Isla, to fill out your party. Basically, the speedrun is just waiting for one character. Once you unlock that one character, just nothing survives. He's just that overpowered in the game. You know, everyone has their favorite games. There are definitely some differences. See, what they're doing now is they're just charging. There's a cutscene. They're waiting, so they're charging up their tension bar. And here comes the first so-called boss. Yeah, sometimes, I mean, you know, 2 has Maribel. What else you gonna do? So here's the first boss of the game, Gigantes. This game expects you to use the spellcasters to shoot him in the eye, to stun him. But, you know. Who needs to do that when you can just stun him with your coup de grace and, you know, do all the damage you're doing now? Yeah, so there's, you know, each game has their differences. The second game has more of a connected world map. It has a lot of Dragon Quest IV characters. It has like a different class system. It's the thing, you know, things are set up a little bit differently. It has its own unique characters. But yeah, so that's, you know, the first boss. If you want to call it that. It's also the introduction to your first 2 party members, which is Christo and Elena. Kiriel and Elena. So Elena, like, jumps in and she's like, I'll pummel you with fists and concussions, you know, and she's like a firecracker like she is in Dragon Quest IV. I mean, the boss is very complex when you're playing the game casually, because you have to climb buildings, you have to shoot spellcasters at it. You know, you gotta pummel them until Elena comes and pummels them. But rescuing the town also unlocks their secret weapon, which is a flying airship. I don't know, am I H.C. Bailey? I thought I'm just a random old man who's babbling away at nighttime. I'm just your local restreamer. Oh. I don't know, I've never been told I sound like H.C. Bailey. This map has a lot of sand, which is supposed to slow you down, make things harder. Just trying to help y'all and myself get through the evening. I'm here with y'all until 6 a.m. Pacific, so. This is another protect the town map. So all the monsters have turned. So the story is all the monsters have gone from being friendly and whatnot to suddenly attacking all of the towns. Something has got them riled up. Also, yeah, it's very mission based. There's some maps. I think some of those maps that just popped up are like DLC maps or post game maps. But the idea is just run as fast as you can to the mall keepers, take them out, advance the story. The mall keepers do get harder as the game goes on. Like right now, you see the mini demons. Eventually, they will start to upgrade, and you'll even get to the point where you're dealing with Barbados and archdemons as mall keepers, and they have a lot of health. They're just big old damage sponges. They don't do anything to you. They deal almost no damage. This is Protect the Mayor map is what it is. Yeah, you'll see them just trying to avoid picking up those medallions. Don't want to pick them up until after the map is done, because then you don't get the cutscene for it. So you want to avoid those cutscenes because they do eat away a few seconds here and a few seconds there. So yeah, I don't 100% remember the entire story to this game. I'm sure I'm gonna forget some things. It's been like a year and a half, 2 years since I played it. But it's pretty much the same concept for a while right now. It's protect the towns that are being overrun. Until you get introduced to the person who's actually doing it, which I think this town is when you first get introduced to them. Alina's fun. She's got the right attitude. Christo's too busy worrying about everything. Isn't that what it always comes down to, is the power of friendship? So yeah, this one, there's this Yggdrasil route that has appeared. and they're protecting it. There's a handful of those missions where you're trying to, for some reason, protect this Yggdrasil route. Well, there's a case of picking up a medallion and having a cutscene, or having a text box pop up. I think they were trying to time it so the end of the map before picking it up, so you wouldn't get the text box, but did it just a little bit too early. Yeah, Christo's coup de grace attack is definitely something special in this game. They definitely make fun of his thwack fails. So this one, there's killing machines, and you get introduced to your next party member, Terry. Terry is broken, is the best way to put it. He just does so much damage, and he self-heals during all that damage, too. So immediately run to Patty's place and throw Terry in the party. Because Terry's going to be a mainstay now. Terry is the true hero of the game. You're sure in for a big surprise. Or at least that's what that says. Story-wise, I'm drawing a blank on why we are here. This is one of those, oops, I don't remember. I just actually remember the boss of this area. So you see the mall keepers have upgraded. They're now knights. Knights are slightly annoying because you can't attack them from the front or they'll block. It's a surprise to everyone. But yeah, picking up those monster medallions after you hear the victory like jingle makes it so you don't see the cutscene and or you don't see the text. And so if they pick up the medallions next time by accident, since they've already picked it up once, they don't get the text. It's just a way of like trying to maximize minimize, I should say, any potential time loss. That might be what it was. They're looking to talk to someone. And of course, this place is getting attacked by monsters, so they gotta defend the gate. Most of the missions, especially for a while, aren't really difficult. They gotta teach you some gimmicks. And then eventually they will really like ramp up the difficulty. Sending things from all kinds of directions. But with New Game Plus, that's not something you generally have to worry about. I'll be right back. I need a drink. Enjoy the mass slaughtering of sanguinis. That warms my cockles. Okay. The good stuff. So yeah, each map you'll notice they take several, there's just several times that you go through it. And then you get introduced to your next party members. You got Jessica here. And then you got the big boy Yangus on the other side. So you see there's all kinds of various games that they've pulled characters from. We've already seen Dragon Quest VI, Dragon Quest VIII, Dragon Quest IV. The games, the Heroes games really loves Dragon Quest IV, by the way. Like, I think there's 5 characters from 4 in the second game. I mean, 4 is a great game. Definitely a great cast. And I think if they ever did make a third Heroes game, we'll probably see Dragon Quest XI characters. Because I personally would love to see Dragon Quest Heroes 3 with Sylvando. I'll take Sylvando. I could be happy with that. Protect the elven houses. Man, Christo's being a fuddy-duddy again. I'm just sorry for that mall keeper. It would be nice to see like Dragon Quest II representation. I think the problem with that game is like, what do you name Moonbrook, right? Since there is no canon name. Oh, so here's the next bosses. It's Boss Troll and Cosmic Chimera. You got these spellcaster type machines, but they shoot like, they're ballistas, I should say. They shoot like lots of arrows at the same time, or like shoots out lots of arrows. Oh, you mean you mean Dragon? Yeah, Mara, Nara, Maya, and Mina. So Cosmic Chimera is annoying because it does put up damage and vulnerability. But we got Terry. Terry doesn't like birds. I mean, to be fair, I don't think Terry likes a lot of things. Terry needs a friend like Helix. So we got our next party members. Yeah, the game wants you to use those ballistas to like rapid fire arrows to shoot them down. That's what the game wants you to do. Also, every time you finish a map, you unlock kind of like free play on the map. But you'll also unlock a harder version of the map where you can fight the bosses again, but they're hard mode bosses basically. So this time they're going to the dwarves, I believe. I don't remember why again. I think they're just still hunting for, or trying to protect the areas from monsters' attacks, is what they're trying to do. Dwight the White Dwarf. Speaking of Dwight, later on Saturday, there is Dragon Quest V, although I don't know if he's called Dwight in the Super Famicom version. Okay, so yeah, Era Bruto will be running Dragon Quest V Super Famicom Saturday evening. But yeah, we got another good day of Dragon Quest in here going on. Rounding out the evening here in the U.S. with some Heroes and some Dragon Warrior on the Game Boy, and then starting off the day with Builders, Dragon Warrior Randomizer, Dragon Quest V, an international Dragon Warrior 4 race, Japan and the U.S. and the West, I should say. And then finishing out the marathon with some Dragon Quest 8. I think this is actually the longest DQRTA that we put on. Usually, I don't think we usually started on Wednesdays. I think we usually started on Thursdays. It will be PlayStation Dragon Quest VIII, run by Keanu Lookalike. This map always gave me fits. I remember it. This was like one of the first really difficult, troublesome maps that I came across. Because you also start getting introduced to a lot of high hit point monsters. Like, you really need to take advantage of sentries to help protect you. I think we're coming up on our next new party members. But yeah, there's like speedrun wise, I don't think there's a whole lot else to really go over. I think I've pretty much hit the basics of what they're doing, things that they're trying to avoid to save time. Oh yeah, protect her. Protect the daughter. There are some other things that, like, movement tech. I don't know if it's still done, but I know that they used to do. Like using tension to get around maps faster, and then swapping characters in order to avoid coup de grace going off. Is this... This is, region control. I've only played one Dynasty Warriors game. But it is a Dynasty Warriors type game. It's a Muso game is what it is. You go into a map, you go through hordes of monsters, and you clear an objective. Then you leave, you go to the next map, and you do it all over again. But yeah, I remember I think the next map is Beryl looking for her beloved. Or no, looking for Dad. That's what it is. I remember, Da, where are you? But yeah, so we got introduced to our next two party members, Nera and Bianca from Dragon Quest V. Or I should say Nera, and then, you know, I guess Bianca got dragged along. I am clearly team Nera, team Flora. You know, Rudo, there's a time in everyone's life where they come at a crossroads and they gotta either make the right choice or the wrong choice. In this one, it's more tower defense than anything. Kiba, is a lot of the times you're given objectives you have to protect, and sometimes it's there's also boss fights and stuff where the objective is to kill them. But I would say that's more tower defense type than anything. I mean, if you look on the mini-map, it's literally a tower that you're protecting. So yeah, this is a case where I told you about earlier. We're using the tension to get a speed boost. Using the coup de grace this time to actually to deal damage. But when you are under tension, and you're fired up, you do get a movement increase. Yeah, I think one of the things Dragon Quest likes to do is they like to take other genres of games and then just put their own spin on it. I mean, if you look at something like the Builders games, I mean, you look at them and it's like, oh, it's Minecraft. But then you just realize that it's Minecraft, but more story elements, you know. They kind of like incorporate it more into like an RPG. Speaking of Builders, that's coming up later later on Friday. Or on Saturday. I don't even know what today's date is anymore. There was actually a Dragon Quest tactical game, RPG. It was called Dragon Quest Wars on the DSi. It was a DSiWare game. So they actually already had a tactical game. Very, very, very lesser known. Definitely not mainstream. You might be able to still download it on the 3DS shop while the 3DS shop still exists. I don't know. I haven't actually tested it because I don't have the ability to do that on my 3DS. Let's just say, you know, wires are crossed, things happen. Sometimes you're old and you don't want to get updated. You know how it goes. There is Dragon Quest Tact, which is a mobile gacha game. That one you can play in the West. There's a global release of that. In fact, I was just playing that earlier. But yeah, that one is tactical. Is tactical also. But yeah, that's Dragon Quest Tact is one that is their mobile gacha game. They are doing a Dragon Quest XI event right now. Yeah. But yeah, so Dragon Quest Wars is like literally the only thing you could play it on was DSi. Because it's a DSiWare game. DSiWare doesn't exist anymore. There is actually a lot of Dragon Quest spin-offs. The problem is like most of them are Japan. Like the West gets some stuff here, some stuff there. Yeah. I mean, I don't have unlimited mobile data either. I just use my Wi-Fi. I'm not a gacha guy either, but it's Dragon Quest. I'm a Dragon Quest guy, you know. Gotta represent our love in the West here. So maybe they send more stuff over. Oh yeah, there's a lot of monster games that we never got, like Joker 3, none of the professionals, Terry's Wonderland, like any of the 3DS remakes. Oh no, TAC doesn't do that, Kiba. Terry's Wonderland is a great game. It's probably my favorite of the monster type games. Heck, there's even Caravan Heart, which is another lesser known Dragon Quest title. But yeah, there's we don't got Joker 3, we don't got any of the 3DS remakes. We don't got any of the professionals. Don't got Caravan Heart. Ah, okay, Kiba. I don't know. I like the later ones because it just takes the systems of the first game of the first monsters, and just gives you more ways to recruit them. You know, instead of plus they give you numbers. Everyone loves numbers, even though the numbers don't mean anything, because we all know that you always fail at 90%, way more than 1 out of 10. So the numbers really, really don't mean anything. Numbers in Dragon Quest are like, whose line is it anyways? They're all made up, and they don't really exist. Okay, so finally, after going through all of the caverns and saving the foreman and his daughter, we come to the boss, which is the Stone Guardian. Goodbye, Stone Guardian. This guy is fun. He kind of runs around in circles chasing the foreman, and then eventually like jumps up and does like butt drops, which is really cool. The second game, Taloon picked that up and started doing it himself. Yeah, good old DQ10, the big debate. Sadly, the being able to run a MMO requires a lot of money, especially to localize it. So who knows? Maybe we can hold out small hope that DQ10 offline comes to the West, because hey, they don't need to do any other localization other than translating the first version. Okay, so the other big character in the speedrun is Bianca. Bianca is crazy good with AoE. Like, so when it comes to single target damage, you can't beat Terry. But when it comes to AoE damage, especially long range AoE damage, Bianca's bow is really broken also. So we're gonna start using it to really just blow up groups of enemies. So you get sent to Trial Isle here in order to get stronger. Gragwort is a great guy. Just whatever he is floating there, resting on his arm. But he's basically teaching the next level of tension. So the idea is to unlock the next, instead of 5 tension, 20 tension. It's all good fun, all goofy, enjoyable. Nothing really, really terribly difficult. So this one is build up enough tension in 2 minutes to use your coup de grace. Well, before the timer even started, they already had coup de grace. So yeah, he just sat there in the corner building up tension while the cutscenes were going on. You also can build up a lot of tension fast by hitting a lot of enemies at the same time. But at the current level, it's still kind of slow. So you get this area has a boss where the only way you can deal damage to it is through a coup de grace attack. That was a nice area. But yeah, that's what the trial is for, is just get better tension. Gragwar is always unhappy, like Christo. Yeah, we're gonna keep picking on Christo, because why not? You're not as green as you are cabbage looking, says the little round cabbage looking guy. So this was required, like the game forced you to go here as a quest to get higher tension. Gragwar does have some of the hardest missions, like post-game especially, or late game. Like the good old tower climb. If you've played this game, you know what that stage is. Riding the elevator. If you've played this game, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So now they gotta go to the World Tree. And they're only doing that because the subtitle of the game is The World's Tree Woe and the Blight Below. So obviously they have to go here. But they're basically trying... Yeah, so here's Bianca, by the way. That's not fair. Reign of Pain. Because it's all just long-range bow missiles that are arrows that are heat-seeking. I mean, you know, they had to give her a good weapon. She doesn't have any other redeeming qualities. Unlike Nara, Nara's got the bubbles. Attack of the bubbles, baby. Hey, I gotta be true to true to my Nera. What can I say? So yeah, I believe this mission is the world tree has been obviously getting invaded by monsters, and you don't want the world tree to fall because it's a Dragon Quest game. The world tree is important. It gives you leaves, it gives you dew, and sometimes it, you know, saves the world. And sometimes you blow up the tree, sometimes you stop it from blowing up. So the second map, basically climbing. I think at this point in the game, you're basically chasing after someone. Bianca is, in Dragon Quest V is... So, okay, I actually don't remember all of her stats or her spells. What I do know is she's more of the fighter type. Like, she's definitely more physical based. But what's funny is Nera gets a higher, in the DS version, gets a higher strength, or higher attack, I think. And Nera is like pure spellcaster, buffer. It's been a long time since I've used Bianca in any way playing Dragon Quest V. My recent playthrough this year, I was with Deborah. Maw-keeper appear, Maw-keeper disappear. Exactly. Like, what matters is your children always have the same spells. Dragon Quest V is a great game. Just be prepared for the feels. The boss of the tree now. This is another gimmick fight. Where the boss is not supposed to be able to be killed. But, you know, when you're level 99... we just disregard all of the mechanics of the fight. No, so this fight, the gimmick is you're not supposed to be able to destroy this guy. The only way to end this fight is to get him to a phase where he's stunned and then push him off the tree. He kind of bounces really spectacularly, like he comes back together here. And he's not supposed to be destructible. You're not supposed to be able to kill him. So what you do is you stun him just like that, and then watch him go flying. And off the tree he goes. Bye-bye! And then when you go inside of the top there, that's where you learn about the big bad guy. I actually forgot what his name is. And he basically is cloaked in darkness, and you need to get the power of light in order to beat him. Is it Fractose or something? Is that it? I think Fractose sounds about right. Teleport Maze Tower. You know, there is a nice simple solution to this. DQ, Heroes, Fractose, yes. Oh wait, no, that's a different game. That's 2. Whoops. Oh, Shadrock. That's his name in this one. Shadrock. Okay. Fractose was 2. Got it. Shadrock is who you meet. And, yeah. He's trying to, of course, get the power of darkness, destroy the world, yada, yada, yada. So, yeah, this is an example of how broken Bianca is she's just firing arrows off into, like, the middle of nowhere, and they're hitting their targets. So this is like a maze, but like a teleport maze tower. Yeah, Deborah in the remakes is a fighter type. She's a much more physical user. She uses Achilles, like I guess you could say the like gloves. I'm not sure the best way to say what they are. Well, Bianca and Nera are mage types. It's just they're different types of mages. And Deborah was the physical. She's the one, yeah. Punch, punch, punch. But to be honest, there's not a lot of difference between the wives. I mean, she's a bow user. She does damage. Bianca does, but you know, she is a mage, but she's not as mage oriented as Nera. So here is the I believe this is the elevator map. Oh yeah, so I alluded at the tower climb elevator map. Well, this is it. It's actually really tricky. It is kind of difficult, but coming back here for like the later game quests, the post game quests, this tower might as well be impossible. Like, you have to level to like 70s, I think it was, or something really crazy high in order to be able to finish the quest. But yeah, this is the infamous elevator. Yeah, in the remakes they changed it. There was no bows in the Super Famicom. Bouncing between all of them. So and you don't even have to move because Bianca just waits for everything to load and then just shoots it through a wall. Oh yeah, we know what you're getting at, Kiva. So yeah, this one is all timed, as all the timed events. You reach a floor, monsters spawn, and then eventually the elevator starts, you reach the next floor, monsters spawn, and it just keeps going. So it's more like the first couple of floors are not too bad. They just kind of trickle out, but eventually they just come from everywhere, and this map gets really hard. But you gotta do this to get the power of light. Take out the power of dark. Look at it, not even facing the direction where the enemies are, and they just melt. I mean, she doesn't do anywhere near this much damage, you know, when she's a lower level, but throwing in the New Game Plus and Pain of Rain, or Reign of Pain, or whatever the heck the rain is doing that's painful. It's painful. Okay, have a good evening, Rudo. But yeah, there's not a whole lot more to say about this this map. It's just wait till you get to the top. When you're not getting swarmed by hordes of enemies because they all die instantly. It's not that difficult, it's just time consuming. So like you'll see now it gets to the point where there's now 4 like entrances. And there's a lot of big enemies coming out. And you see the main strengths of your party is you got switch to Terry when you need to take out something that has a lot of health. And then once that's gone, you just go back to Bianca and raffle stomp everything else. This gets fun casually because you take all these big enemies that they killed, the Hell Gladiator, the Haxosauruses and everything, and you have all of these sentries. Oh, one thing you might have saw there briefly, but you know it's not actually an issue in this run, is your healing in this game. So you get these things called heal stones, and you upgrade them, and you get more of them as the game goes on. And you start out with like 3 or 4 heal stones, and eventually you get like, I think it's like 9. But that's your main source of healing, outside of a couple of characters that can use some kind of healing. But they're like fast emergency AoE healing for your party, because you can use them like in an instant. And then you refresh them when you go back to town. So Hell Gladiator comes out, Terry comes out, Hell Gladiator goes back. Wishes Hell Gladiator didn't come out. There's Lizzie. We just saw Lizzie in the last game. Once again beaten up by Terry. Poor Hagosaurus. Terry comes, Hagosaurus dies. Or gets beat up, I should say. It's just the never-ending cycle. So I think this is the final floor now. This auto-scroller. And to reach the top of the tower finally. But it's not as easy as you think getting into where you need to go. Because obviously you gotta have a boss, right? The ferocious Traspusser. Yeah, it's Kilian. Marquis de Leon. Likes to bounce around a lot, so... can be tricky to actually get in there and deal damage, but once you get the stun, yeah, just let Terry go to work. Yeah, with the right setup, Terry basically just has infinite health and magic. Because when he does that attack, he heals. And if you have the items that restore magic, he just keeps restoring magic. I mean... yeah. It's just not even fair. Not even fair. So I believe, story-wise, they get to the top of the tower and you find out that Helix actually has the Ring of Light. In case you didn't notice, our heel slime has a crown, but it's not really a crown. It's more of a ring. And Helix is kind of running around with the item needed to stop the darkness, just sitting on his head. So I think this area is where we get introduced to our last party members. That's so silly. That is so silly. But yeah, this is mostly the good chunk of the run now, is just letting Bianca take care of everything. I mean, it turns a lot of these levels into like basically auto scrollers, because when you one shot everything, you're not like being overwhelmed by mall keepers. You're just waiting for the timers to go so where they spawn. Two shot that time. I don't know, actually it's more like 10 shot, because it was a 10 hit combo. Oh, we got the Bazuzu Maw Keepers now. The Bat-Boons. See, they come up with all of these names in the remakes and stuff. Like, those are supposed to be like Silva the Pithekith or something. No. In my heart, they will always be silver and gold Bat-Boons. Because that is such a good name. They didn't need to change Bat-Boon. So I believe the story reason is they're trying to get to this underground temple, because I think this is where you basically become the luminary. You unlock your destiny for Well, in this case, Aurora. So some of these maps now, this map here has a switch. You start to get some of these gimmick maps here where there's different gates, and the switches open and close, you know, different sets of gates, and you kind of got to use that to like stymie the progression of the enemies. Like how the mall keeper in the left side there, you want to have that gate down, so they got to take the long way to get around. So now the maps really start to become more strategic instead of just hack and slash. But yeah, so here's our new party members, Maya and Mina. We got Nara and wait, not Nara. Mara and Nara from Dragon Quest IV. There we go, I got it out. Like I said, these hero games really love the Dragon Quest IV characters. Because you get these four are in both games. And then the second game also adds in Torneko, Tilud. But I can understand why like there's some games that just don't have representation because there's not characters, you know? Like, you know, 1, 2, 3, those, you know, they don't really have names. The characters, their names are not set in stone. 9 is the same way. I mean, they got, like, they already have Patty and Aaron, you know, running the inns and stuff from 9, but, you know, when you create your own party, it's kind of, unless they're going to give the hero, like, a canon name or something and use him. But yeah, so you're the pool of Dragon Quest games that you can pull these characters from is kind of limited. It's pretty much 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 11. But you never know, they could go the route of naming, you know, Moonbrook or Kanik. You know, when you think about it, like, so this game does like does like to make fun of itself a little bit, because, you know, I talked about Christo. His coup de grace is basically a bunch of thwack fails popping up on the screen, like old school, like command prompt, like thwack fails, like, and he gets so angry that he blows up. I mean, they could do something with Kanik and coffins, you know. Like, this game definitely makes fun of Christo and his unwavering desire to try to cast a defeat on the final boss of the game. Yeah, 9 and 3 in particular, since they're the two Dragon Quest games where you create a party, you don't really have any personalities, you know, with your party members. The personality has to come from somewhere. So it has to come from the NPCs. You gotta have your storyteller somewhere. But whatever they do, don't make Stella a character. Sorry. I'm so harsh on Stella. I really shouldn't be. I'll just blame my own personal chat for my opinions on Stella. That's it. That's all I gotta say about that. It's not my fault. It's my chat's fault. You know, Mel, I'm fine with that. I'll allow it. It's late night. We need some good puns. Ones that Dragon Quest would even cringe at. The Heroes games here don't really go in with the puns. Like, by the time these games came out, Dragon Quest had gone away from its phase, I guess you could say. There's definitely a phase through Dragon Quest life cycle, especially with remakes, where it was all about puns. You can see that very heavily in 4, 5, actually any of the DS remakes, basically, except for 8. Although 8 they did add the Cameron Obscura pun for the 3DS version of 8, but yeah, pretty much 4 through 7 and 9 on the DS, 3DS are just nothing but puns, and those all came like within the same, I don't know, 6 to 8 year gap, if I had to guess, maybe 10-year gap. So like, you know, the mid or 2000s, the early 2010s, they definitely went through that phase where it was all about puns and stereotypes. And then when they finally got back to like Dragon Quest 11, it was no longer puns, but it was definitely stereotypes. The star-shaped weapon, I don't know what the name of it is off the top of my head, but Isla uses boomerangs, so it's a star-shaped boomerang is what it is. So yeah, so this is the trial to basically get their power of light, and this dragon has like multiple phases, but if you last if it goes long enough, it goes back, it flies up, it shoots stuff at you, and this stage is nice enough to give a easy temporal of tension, which gives you max tension. And allows you to basically wipe out the dragon without having to go through any of the phases. But the dragon is only part 1 of the fight. So now you gotta fight the Darkling. This one is less like a gimmick, like raid boss, because the dragon is like raid boss. You know, you get it to a certain health, it goes up, it shoots lightning at you and stuff, and then it comes down, and then you take it to another percentage, and it flies up again. I call it raid bosses. It's like, you know, if you're playing an MMO. You know, it's what you'd expect in a raid boss. But this also raises your tension, again. And you start to unlock your powers of light. Yeah, and it could be a chakram at that point. Pentarang, it's called. There you go. 5-starred boomerang, aka Chakram. So I believe now they need the help of Isla's people. So Isla, like, finally comes out and says, hey, I'm a part of this tribe. And I don't remember what they needed from the tribe, but they needed the help from the tribe in order to take out the evil. And it's one of those things where once you leave, you never can go home, so... This chapter is all about her and going back home and having to deal with the whole fact that she left. Thank you for the raid, Mr. Holmes. Kaboom! So just continue rain and painting. And you have to keep Isla alive through all of this. Which, I mean, she's been in your party the entire game, so... It's not like they haven't been keeping her alive anyways. Build up some tension during the timed cutscenes and the story. I'm sure there was a mall keeper there. I don't think we saw it, but it was there, I promise you. At least there wasn't any monsters to make this more difficult. Shouldn't have opened your mouth. There's always more of them. I agree. There are buffs and stuff in this game too. You can see like the fact that the stone golem was surrounded in blue. I mean, there's your standard Dragon Quest buffs. You can sap. You can oomph. You know, you can lower and raise defense and attack power. Every character has, you know, they do have spells and stuff. Like you're not seeing them in the speedrun. I mean, you've seen Kazap, but there's, you know, there's all the fire spells, all the ice spells. every character gets their own unique set of spells and stuff. I think the other interesting character to use is Maya. Although I don't think she's as effective in this game as she is in the second game. But like in the second game, she can just dance everywhere and just keep raising up these massive combos and like just float in the sky and never come down. So you can never touch her and she just keeps hitting and attacking. So this is the last room, so just walks in here with Terry intention, and yeah. Puts a line between all of those mall keepers, grabs a rock bomb, and then finish him off. I like rock bombs. Rock bombs are fun. You just drop them down, and they roll towards an enemy and then just blow up. And they do massive damage. I always liked throwing rock bombs at the enemies. Or rolling them at the enemies, I guess. Yeah, this room had a lot of maw keepers. I think there's like 7 of them that spawn. All of these maps that we're not going to see. Well, this one is she makes it back to the town. No one's... Oh, yeah, this is the outside of the town first. Okay. This was another map I remember very well and being extremely difficult. You have to protect the gate, but at the same time, you have to keep climbing the tower there and taking out that mini demon. Because it would keep blowing up the gate with the spellcaster. But it was on a set timer, so you can kind of like predict when you had to run up there and take them out. I do remember you can get metal slimes on this map too. It's called the Penta Rang or whatever. It's like a 5-pointed boomerang. Just Dragon Quest items getting goofier and goofier. Dragon Quest doing what it does best, getting as goofy as you can. So yeah, you can see illayaya is just completely ignoring the spellcaster. With everything dying as fast as it is, like the gate will survive. But there's a lot of spawns on the different that always spawn like on the corners of the maps, and they just rotate through. It's a little bit irritating, but. Piece of cake. Cake. Sugar. So yeah, Isla gets home and everyone like is not angry that she left. But the town's under attack, so you gotta rescue the people. The best part is the old lady with the frying pan who's just like beating away all the enemies. Good old grandma. Granny, there we go. Granny is the next party member, or at least she should be. But I don't think we'd ever get that lucky. The granny's making a run for it. Run, Granny, run. Just get wrecked on the other side of the map there. Our friend the green dragon. Helping us remember that there are dragons in Dragon Quest. Well, there was dragons in Dragon Quest. We just said goodbye to them. Good old Demon at Arms and Uber Killing Machine. I think it's Uber Killing Machine. This one, you have the two monsters and you also have two Hellcasters firing at you at the same time. So the Uber Killing Machine has a gimmick where you can hit it with lightning to stun it, but after it wakes up from the stun, it becomes immune to stun for a few seconds while it goes like terrorizing you. But, you know, New Game Plus, you don't see any of that. That's the boss of this area. Oh, some scrub on commentary. So now the Yggdrasil has started getting corrupted by Shadrock. You can see it's all purpley and stuff now, and there's harder enemies. That's how you know it's corrupted, because they upgraded the enemies. Look out. Oh yeah, that's what happens if you fall in one of the holes. You get the goofy, look out below! And then nothing happens to you. You just respawn. But this is the same map as they were on before. They changed the mood lighting is all. So you see these mysterious swordmen pop up and disappear. I believe that is post-game only, because I don't think you get them before the post-game. But they're starting to hint at Sorrow. Go mysterious swordsman. I believe he's recruitable only in the post game. I personally, I like 2 more because so here's my thoughts is I like 2 for the most part more just because of everything's interconnected. But the post game on 2 is really disappointing. There's so much more post game and harder boss fights in this game. And they took out a lot of those hard boss refights in the second game. So I think I like the options, post-game options of this one better. Plus, it's a lot easier to grind experience post-game in this game. Because they give you a map with King Metal Slimes on it. Yeah, Bianca has some really crazy long-range AoE. We got Barbatos. Terry is there too. Terry is for single targets. Bianca is for just plowing through lots of enemies. You know, I never said I accepted. It's just Nara's bubbles are just not as good AoE damage. I'm not the one playing. I'm just here to entertain people for a couple hours. Yeah, the bubbles are slow. They're fun to play with, but they're so slow. Okay, so this island, I believe, is the island where Shadrock is trying to summon something. Again, my knowledge of the story is like 75% what I remember. And of course it has to take place on a volcano island because, you know, you're just not gonna summon an ancient evil at Walmart, you know? Frozen food section, baby. That's where they keep all of the ancient evils. a big open map like this with multi-layers. So these are all multi-layers. Everything's at the top, and they just kind of come down the side of the volcano. So this is a great map for Bianca because she doesn't have to do anything. You literally have to do nothing but shoot the bow and kill all the enemies around. Get your frozen peas, carrots, pizza, ice cream, an ancient evil dragon. Just make sure you're in the right aisle for it. Into the volcano. See, Death Zero, that's where Bianca belongs. In the volcano. Hashtag Team Nera. So like every area, there's a few different maps that we have to go through. Please. You weren't even around in the 80s, okay? So you don't even know. Yeah, thanks to Twitch, blue hair is back. Let me guess, 89. Hi, you youngins! Hey, that's fine, okay? I have learned a long time ago to accept that, you know, you're either Team Nera or you're wrong. And, you know, I love everyone equally the same. I will still accept your choices. And remember that Nera will always be there for me. Oh, I could give a more exact date, but I won't. Yeah, let's all agree. As long as you're not Team Deborah, we can get along. The Dragon Quest V wives is definitely a hot button topic. I'll tell you. You know, that's fine. I'm fine shooting Bianca out of a cannon. I'm right there with you, Death Zero. You know, there's not a whole lot more I could say about this speedrun right now. I mean, it is very, very, very much rinse and repeat. And because these maps are getting longer and larger, it's not really anything else I can elaborate on the story about. We're just enjoying the hacking, the slashing. Enjoying the pretty colors and the flashing lights. Excuse me, I saw that movie. And we all know in that movie Nara was the choice, but she is the one who gave it up. Okay? Yeah, this speedrun now is like Terry hack and slash and Bianca's arrows go wee. Okay, I saw that movie, okay? And I know exactly what happened. Nara was the choice. She was going to be the one, and then she decided that she wasn't going to be the choice. Not him. See, he knew what the right choice was. Oh, the movie's fine. It's hilarious. It's pretty good. It's just, you know, the ending is something. you have to keep an open mind about the ending. That's what we'll just say. But if you're if you like Dragon Quest V, you'll be thoroughly entertained. It's funny. It has some really good moments. But yeah, you just have to keep an open mind. It might still be on Netflix. I don't know. But it's called Dragon Quest Your Story. And it's based off of Dragon Quest V. Like, it goes through the story of Dragon Quest V. Like you'll be thoroughly entertained. You'll enjoy it. You'll get a giggle. You'll get a laugh. You'll be like, oh yeah. You'll still cry at the right moments, but then you'll also facepalm at certain moments. Okay. So basically, there's two types of button layouts in the game. You only really hitting two buttons, Snoozing Hamster. Square and triangle. Square is the main sword attack. Triangle is part of the combo, can throw in some of your special abilities. But there is simple button scheme and I guess I forgot what the other one is, if it's normal or what. But where if you choose the simple button scheme, then you only have to press a button 4 times, and you can choose the whether it's square or X. Now there is a spell shortcut menu where you can bring 4 spells or abilities in that you use with R1 and then a direction, but it's not overly complex. Oh, here's Velasco. This is the guy that we've been chasing. And of course, you know, we're gonna beat him up, and he's gonna be like, ha ha ha, this is not even my final encounter. But yeah, so it's not terribly hard to control. You can switch between a lot of characters, so there's a lot of play styles that you can choose. Yeah, this looks more complex than it is, but illayaya is literally spamming like 2 buttons. All of these fancy animations and dancing and attacks are pretty much tied either to your sword attacks, or you press R1 and you use one of your 4 abilities. So don't let like complexity like deter you from playing the game. If you want a Dragon Quest story in every sense, but like with a different gameplay style, then it's something to check out. Oh yeah, you don't even have to mash the buttons. So this area has a escape sequence because the volcano is being sunken. So this is a little bit different compared to the other areas. Is this one you actually have to go through all of the volcano to escape. And you gotta stop and fight these giant rock bombs that are blocking the path. But oh yeah, like I'm the same way, snoozing. Like my hands are old and falling apart. I can't mash, but all you have to do is you know, press a combination of square and triangle up to 4 times, and then occasionally press the R1 button and one of the other buttons, you know. This isn't an overly complex game. You could just, you know, you could choose the simple button. Like, if you want more control, then you choose the complex one, and that basically, the difference between simple and complex is, complex, you can choose, like, to not do a 4-button combo to get a different effect. But simple is, you just press the button 4 times. If you want another Dragon Quest game spin-off to try that doesn't require any button mashing or anything, then check out Dragon Quest Builders. If you want an idea of what the game is like, in a few hours, the Countess will be running Dragon Quest Builders. That's kind of like a crossover of Minecraft and Dragon Quest. So here's King Hydra. We're getting some revenge on Ortega. You can... Builders 2 definitely has a demo. I don't know if Builders 1 still does. Builders 2 is a great game. Like, Builders 2 is such a great game. I would highly recommend the Builders games, especially 2 if you like a Minecraft type game, and because the story is just is so silly and goofy and Dragon Questy and amazingly fun. And you can do a lot of creativity. Yeah, just choose simple button mashing. They'll literally ask you at the beginning of the game what you want to do. And if it's still too fast paced, you know, it's nothing that's terribly difficult. Some of the maps later on might get difficult for you. But you can also just gain a couple of levels and take away a lot of that problem. This is This is New Game Plus normal. So the reason why everything is dying is because they start the run at level 99 with maxed out plus 3 gear. So, like, the difficulty doesn't even matter. I think there's only one difficulty in this game anyways. And then the boss, you can do boss refights on hard mode. Yeah, the solution. There's metal. You can find metal slimes on this game. But yeah, it's like all the flashing you see going on is more flashing than anything. Like right now, you see what Bianca's doing with the bow. That's literally pressing the R1 button and triangle. That's that, and you just shoot out all of those arrows. It looks flashy, lots of things go flying, but it's literally press R1 and hit triangle. But yeah, there's different play styles for every character. You could just be a caster if you want. Sit back with someone like Nara and just blast away with bubbles and spells. Or, you know, Maya, Nara, Jessica. Well, Jessica has a lot of whip attacks. So I don't know about the Stardust Sword. Yeah, Nara, you just, yeah, fun with bubbles is what I say. Is what I call it. Fun with bubbles. Yeah, Heroes 1 has a lot more post-game and hard content. I was talking about it earlier. One of the big disappointments, like, I think Heroes 2 is superior in most ways than 1, but the big glaring issue, compared to 1, is there's literally, like, no post-game in 2. Once you beat everything and then you beat the game, all that's left is grinding. There's just no, like, you don't fight superior bosses, you don't fight hard mode bosses, you don't have special guest bosses. Like, that's the one big disappointment for Heroes 2. But there's more multiplayer for Heroes 2. Yeah, the whole post game is a labyrinth thing in the tavern, that's it. It's really bad, unfortunately. And it's kind of sad, but thankfully the rest of the game is really long and has a lot of improvements to it. Like, it'll take you a long time to beat Heroes 2. And the final boss is actually pretty hard in Heroes 2. Yeah, I know. But it's just... it's like, in my eyes, it's like grotto grinding in Dragon Quest IX. It's like... yeah, the novelty wears off very fast. Oh, I forgot. There is another problem with Heroes 2 that makes it slightly, that knocks it down another peg. And that's Maribel is in the game. Rough, good. Maribel, nah. So, what happened in the volcano is Velasco was able to successfully summon an ancient dragon called Shadrock. And they're going through trying to protect the city from the onslaught one more time. I believe we're getting close to the end of the game. I don't remember how many more maps are left after this. I like Heroes 2 more because it's more of a world map as Heroes 2. Like everything is interconnected. This game, it's mission style separate maps is what it is. You go to a map, you complete the mission, then you leave. 2 also has job changes, yeah. A job system. Well, there's advanced classes, so that's about as in-depth as it is. There's a handful of classes, and then you can unlock advanced classes. Like, if you go for, like... So there's the main... Like, you could take, like, there's the main central city hub, but you can go out of, like, one of 4 gates to the world map, and then that map connects to another area, and then that map connects to another area, so it's like a flowing world map is what it is. It's not like this where it's you go into you do the little map here and then you leave the map and go home. There's like the world is interconnected. These are all self-contained maps. So you saw how they did the one map there, and then you go back to the ship and now you load another map. It's not connected to the other area like free flowing. It feels like you're actually in a world. This is PlayStation 4. I believe that's what's being used. Yeah, PlayStation 4. Or 5. I thought I saw 5, but it's on a new PlayStation. I see you just joined that Discord, Sint. I got to imagine there is. I mean, you're going from standard, you know, from hard drive to SSD. So I got to imagine that there's load time differences. Yeah, you can play on Steam also, on PC. Heck, I just played Heroes 2 like last month on PC. So say hello to Terry in his full glory, as he just sits there and tanked 3 end game enemies like within seconds. So this is a protect the citizens map. There's Granny with her cast iron skillet. So they'll rescue, they'll rescue one citizen and then go back and get the next one. And Bianca just clears, or Deborah, yeah, Bianca. Bianca is the one just sits there and clears the map without moving. Because, she's not broken at all. Yep, it's MP on crit. So remember, this is New Game Plus, so all of the gear that illayaya has is tailored for what they need. So they got all +3 accessories and all of the best weapons. That it's set up in a way that they're recovering. They basically have infinite MP. And yeah. Falcon Blade or Thunderbolt Blade, maybe. That one is, I don't know, I can't see. I think that's Thunderbolt Blade on Terry. Yeah, Terry just self-heals and regenerates all of his magic. Well, that's why Terry is broke. Terry and Bianca. So that's one of the differences between Heroes 1 and 2 is they balance the characters better. So Terry is not this overpowering beast. Lucifer. Yeah, these maps are just long now at this point. Even with this being able to zap everything, this is an auto-scroller. Oh, well, there you go. There's an answer for you about Stardust Sword. I didn't remember, so I couldn't actually tell you. This map is the one in the post game that has a King Metal Slime on it, by the way. And there's zoom points so that you can set up. So like when you're doing post game grinding, you just come to this map and you zoom to a point, see if a king is there. If not, zoom to the next point, see if a king is there. You should, Death Zero. If you're already level 99 with all +3 gear, you're ready to go. Become the hero, Death Zero, that doesn't do New Game Plus. Not in a speedrun, not a New Game Plus. No way. It's all about just killing the enemies as fast as possible. You'll notice, like, Terry still, like, has taken this entire map, all the damage that he's taken, he still has 600 health. Yeah, but you don't die when you jump into the volcano. Anytime you fall off a ledge or anything in this game, it just goes, oops! You know, you slipped and fell, and it puts you right back up. Yeah, but why does it matter if he burns tension? He doesn't need to. Like, see, you know, the guy's running, and once he hits a trigger to stop running, you know, everything will be dead. Yeah, but he can't go any faster because he's dealing with an escort mission. Keep in mind, he's doing an escort mission right now. He's trying to escort the man to safety, and you gotta follow the speed of the guy, and then eventually you get these checkpoints where you get mall keepers that spawn, and that's when he deals with them. Well, you can clear some of the enemies there, but the triggers to get past some of these cutscenes anyways is waiting for the mall keeper to spawn. So you're not really speeding things up that much. If anything, you might be slowing it down because of lag. Starting to pick up a bunch of monster medallions by accident. I don't know. Maybe you have great ideas. I don't know. There's probably some reasoning behind. You're just brainstorming for your eventual speedrun. I mean, we do have the Dragon Quest RTA Discord that if you're looking for compendiums and things like that, or people to talk to about any Dragon Quest speedrun. We got them all covered there. There's actually no Monsters games this week in the RTA Marathon. There's not a lot of like Western monster runners right now. And Countess is one of the ones who could. But Countess is already running 2 games in the marathon. So I don't think he wanted to run another game and help run the marathon. Oh. You're joking about the medallions. I get it. It's totally not 3 a.m. for me. Totally not. I've done Monsters 2 glitchless before. But that's a long time ago. That would be a bad D-roast. Well, when you release your tension, you're immune to damage. I don't know if 100 tension gives you, actually, like full tension actually gives you armor or not. Protect the happy couple. Don't they look so happy together? It'd be a shame if a horde of monsters dropped on top of them. I think this is the final map before the final boss. I don't know if there's one more or not. One more, okay, so there is one more. Okay. Do or die in downtown Arba. So yeah, this is the survive one more onslaught before the boss gets here. Before Shadrock makes it. Oh baby, pulling out the monster medallions to help. Yeah, when you play this game, this map is going to become your home. Whether you're playing through the game normally or the post game, you're going to see this map a lot. About 3 hours. There's, after this map is the final boss. So we're coming up, towards the end of this run. After this run, coming up next, we have Dragon Warrior on the Game Boy Color by NeoCAD. Followed by Dragon Quest Builders by the Countess. Those are the next couple of runs coming up. Time to use that tension to get to the next portal or to the next Maw Keeper faster. So right there you'll notice character swapping. That was to stop from Terry's coup de grace going off. Coup de grace, because he is slower than just doing the damage to attack these. And you only do a coup de grace when your character is active. So as the tension was running out, you just swap to someone else until the tension wore out. And that canceled the coup de grace animation, the Giga Slash, or whatever his attack was. Yeah, there's two of them, in fact. I mean, Dragon Quest has a lot of spin-offs, dabbling in a lot of series. It's just, you know, it's a shame that we don't have them all. It's a shame we don't get more of them. Pretty sure even bonus Baramos wouldn't be an issue if you were level 99. All those monster medallions that were dropped. Look at them go. Well, there's only one left, but... Not really anything. Isla, I think Isla might only get used because she has AoE attacks. Oh, okay, so gotta wait till 8:44 to finish the map. Because that's the optimal time, obviously. For something, I don't know. I mean, 8 plus 2 4s, you know. Okay, so you got Shadrock here, the Lord of Knights. I believe this first part you can't really do anything, you just gotta let him advance. Yeah. 3-minute cutscene before the final boss. So yeah, he has this cloak of darkness around him and you can't damage him or do anything to him, so you just kind of gotta like watch him slowly approach the town, the tree. The idea is to stop him before he gets to the tree, because if he destroys the tree, he goes, you know, kaboom. You know, the 3 minutes of cutscenes before the final boss, you know what that reminds me of? I'll tell you, Wild Arms 3, going completely off tangent. Like, I had fun speedrunning Wild Arms 3, but I'll tell you the most frustrating thing about the speedrun is the run is about 10 hours long, and 45 minutes into the speed run, you get several minute break. The next break that you get that's longer than like 30 seconds is just before you go to the final boss. And it's a 7-minute break or something. Okay, so here's Shadrock. Shadrock actually has a couple of phases. I'm not sure how... I don't even know if he's going to make it to the air. I think the goal of this speedrun is to keep him from going in the air, but I'm not sure if that's still the case or not. But it is a dragon in Dragon Quest, so, you know. Okay, so he does get in the air. I think then what you did is just he was able to cancel one air because it's supposed to go up a couple of times. So I think the damage was to cancel one of the air phases then. Because it's just, you know, just deal with being bombarded and waiting for him to come back down. Follow me, follow the runner. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so he's down again. So the idea is to hit it with the coup de grace right away so you can stagger, because staggered, when you're staggered, they take all crits. And GG, everyone. That's the final boss. And Helix finally gets to do something useful. But yeah, the fight's not too terrible difficult. You just beat on him for a while until he goes to the air phase. And then you just kind of gotta wait for cutscenes. Get him out of the sky. Just dodge and get him out of the sky. And there's Yangus. I think this is the first time you've seen him the entire game. That's fine. We are ahead of schedule, so I'm fine with the ending. Perfect. Hey, NeoCAD, you got your warning. So yeah, this Gollum was like, oh, I'm a good guy again. Scratching his head. I mean, I think technically that's the first time you've seen Nera also, but... Oh, we get to see Helix Thump, y'all. Oh, we get to see Helix Thump soon. Yeah. That's the hardest part of setting up for New Game Plus, is getting all the +3 accessories. Seven of them, huh? Yeah, I did see all the meteorite bracers that you had. Hey look, Yangus has a slime hat. Oh no, here it comes. So the entire game, Bianca and Nara are like, they keep mentioning like, oh yeah, we got a wedding to get back to, and they always joke like, whose wedding? And they're like, ours. Because they don't want to tip at who's the hero is going to choose as their wife. So they just keep like acting like both of them are going to be the wife. Well, you always got heroes too that you can play. But yeah, give a follow. Follow our runner. I guess I should probably set up the next runner, shouldn't I? But yeah, if you want to play another Dragon Quest game, Ilya, you can always just play Heroes 2. Yeah, the DS games are good if you want something casual. Yeah. I mean, there's all kinds of Dragon Quest games, you know. Like I said, there's tons of spin-offs. It depends if you know, there's something for everyone, to be honest. I mean, Dragon Quest is always going to be the same. Like, this story you played in this game is going to be a story that you see in just about every other game. You know, it's going to have goofy humor, it's going to have cute things, everything's going to look the same because it's Akira Toriyama. Oh yeah, you never got to see the cutscene with Bjorn in this game. It's, you know, it's good, enjoyable fun. And you know there'll be some emotion, you know there'll be a plot twist. There's always a Dragon Lord somewhere. Heck, I think the Japanese version of Heroes 2 on the Switch actually has another character that we never got in the West with Ragnar. I know there's a Switch version of Heroes 1 and 2 in Japan that has both games. And you, like I said, you get the bonus character of Ragnar. It's a shame. That's a version that we didn't get over here. But yeah, so that's Dragon Quest Heroes by illayaya. And thank you for the run. And I think we're going to move on to the next... I don't think there's any cutscene here, right? Yeah, it's just setting up the post-game. So yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and swap on over to the setup screen here. Thank you very much for your run. Much, much appreciated. And I'm just going to need a minute here to finish swapping everything over for our next runner. And then we'll get right on to some Dragon Quest or Dragon Warrior 1 on the Game Boy Color. And that's going to be it for me commentary, by the way. So I'm gonna mute myself, sit back, and enjoy the next run, and let NeoCAD do everything.